it. Work. Come on, full extension. Work, baby, work. Come on, full extension, in and out. Good. Come on, work. Good job. That's it. Hold it for me. Got one more after this. One more to put the cherry on it. Come on. Stop. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. I got a special guest, the man Maliek Montgomery. What's up with you?
What's up? I'm good. How about yourself?
Man, I'm real good, man. And I wanted to touch bases with you to get some exposure. That's something on my channel I definitely enjoy doing. Some of the people, up and comers that the whole world doesn't necessarily know about yet, seeing what they're up to, and just politicking.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity.
No, definitely. Where you at right now? We gotta start from scratch because not everyone might know you at this point, but they're gonna get to know you. So where you at right now in this world?
Right now I'm in my hometown, Macon, Georgia. It's like an hour outside of Atlanta.
Macon, Georgia. What's the boxing scene like just overall in Georgia, in the surrounding areas, Atlanta and everything?
Macon, Georgia is more so like Atlanta. We got a whole bunch of talent down this way, but because we're not one of those major boxing capitals, we tend to get overlooked at times when it comes to the boxing scene. And we had a lot of great champions come out of Atlanta, come out of Georgia, and not so many of late, and I'm trying to break that mold as far as get us back on the scene as far as talent coming out of Georgia.
So you get good work out there?
Yeah. Well, out of Atlanta, but being where I'm located in Macon, it's like an hour from Atlanta. And recently I've been back and forth to Vegas. So yeah, it's some pretty decent work out here.
Okay, definitely. I know you know my man Tay.
Oh yeah. Tay, good people. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So growing up, when did you start boxing? Let's start there.
I started boxing at 12.
You were 12?
And yeah.
Okay. How'd that start though?
Actually, it was crazy. One day my dad just decided, just asked us, did we want to go to the boxing gym? And we went, trained for a day, and he asked like, hey, is this something that y'all would be interested in doing? And we loved it. You know what I mean? I felt like I fell in love with the sport the first day I did it, and been at it ever since. And actually my first fight, the only reason why I was gonna fight is because Evander Holyfield had a son that was starting boxing around the same time, and they wanted a bout for him. And we were supposed to match up with him, and he ended up not fighting in the tournament. But that was Evander Holyfield son.
Was it Evan? What's his son's name?
Yeah. It was Evan. Yeah, I think it was Evan.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, you were supposed to fight him?
Yeah. That was supposed to be my first fight, and they ended up doing something else, but we ended up not matching up. But that was my first tournament in Georgia games, and I won my first match, and I lost my second, and just ever since then it was just like a bug bit me, and I've been in it ever since.
With the whole situation, global pandemic, everything people are going through right now, is there anything that's difficult for you as a young fighter to just stay focused, stay on the discipline tip, or getting sparring partners, anything like that during this pandemic? Has it made anything harder? Let us know.
It's a little bit more difficult, as far as getting the type of work that we want, and with the epidemic going on. So everybody's not trying to be in everybody else's face, and even trying to fly in or bring in people. It's like now you have to second guess everything. You got to make sure these guys is tested, and they haven't went off protocol and been doing other things outside of what they've been needing to do. And like I said, that's the only real difficulty that comes into it. And as far as being in public areas and being able to train and on the same type status that you did before the epidemic. But ultimately, it's always going to be some type of complications or difficulty with it, but we're just working with what we got.
Definitely. So right now you training at home?
No, right now I'm training in Vegas. I'm training out of Vegas. I come
Oh,
home
okay.
a week tops after every match, and even when I'm home, I'm still in the gym when I'm at home. But yeah, I'm training out of Vegas though.
Okay. Is it good to get away from, because I would imagine being that close to Atlanta and just being in Georgia and just people having access to you as a fighter, there's different people, different lifestyles. Are there any
Uh-huh.
challenges just being back at home? Like even if you're coming popping in for a week or two, is it any challenges just being in a popping, a state like Georgia, close
Uh-huh.
to Atlanta, things like that as a boxer?
Yeah, yeah, it is mainly because the bigger the bigger you get as far as on a social status type stance, and the more people gonna want to talk to you, the more people want gonna reach out and meet up and this, that, and the third. But luckily, with the team I got behind me, with my family, they know as far as the sacrifice I put into the sport, and they understand the path that I'm on mentally and physically to where I can, roundabout stay out the way when I'm down here, and then they don't put any pressure on me to go be out and about and this and that. But other than that, it's pretty standard.
You started boxing at 12. Was there any particular fighters that you kinda looked up to and it just pushed you? You said you were early, like, clinger to the sport of boxing. Was there anybody that you looked at where you just like, "Alright, this is definitely what I wanna do?"
It'd have to be Aaron Pryor. Aaron Pryor was
Oh,
a
okay,
fighter.
that's a good one. That's a good one for someone
Yeah,
your how old are you?
I'm 25.
How you know about Aaron Pryor? Like, how like,
Uh,
I don't hear that often. That's good to hear, though, from young
uh,
fighters.
my father actually was a professional fighter, 6-0, 6 knockouts out of New York, and just
Oh.
coming up, we used to watch a lot of old boxing clips of, just going on YouTube, watching highlights of, Roy Jones, Felix Trinidad. And but I remember, watching Aaron Pryor as a young fighter, and just seeing how determined he was in the ring, and how, regardless of what he went through in that square circle, he always pushed forward. He always fought. He always fought his heart out every fight, and went on to have epic fights with these other world champions. And I just seen that, and that was just something I always wanted to represent when it came time for me to fight.
That respects. Aaron Pryor, I don't know if he's kinda underrated. He don't get the full
Yeah,
proper.
most
Midwest has
definitely.
produced the Midwest has produced a lot of top talent, and he's definitely one of them. So, it's good to hear a young fighter talk about Aaron Pryor, and, you know, I wasn't expecting that. Like, people say the cliche, the Pacquiao's, Tyson,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Roy Jones.
yeah.
Hear you talk about the Aaron Pryor. So, you're working with, Kenny Porter. You got a management situation and a trainer situation with Kenny Porter. How did that come about? Because they've obviously the Porter family, Sean doing his podcast. They talked about you on the podcast too, on the Porter
Oh,
Way
okay,
podcast.
yeah.
Yeah, they mentioned you on that too. So, how did that whole situation come about? Like I said, Porters are accomplished in the sport of boxing. Sean, former champion, things like that. How did the situation come about?
I've actually known the Porters since around about 2015. I met them in the National Golden Gloves. I actually won it that year, I think, or it was the year before that I won it. And just ever since then, we I hooked up with them. Sean's mother actually lives here in Macon, and ever since then, I got the information, and on a speaking basis, if Sean was down here, we'll hang out, link up, and just talking back and forth, just casual stuff like, hey, how you doing, checking up on each other. And it wasn't until maybe a year back that I we might have came together and just was in general talks about boxing in general, and a situation I was going through with my management and everything that I had going. And we decided to come together, and he helped me out of the situation I was in. And what branched off as far as, well, what came about with all of that, we ended up coming together ourselves and putting together a management fighter type situation, and it's been working. It's been working.
That's beautiful. I talked to Kenny Porter at one point, and he said Sean Porter had a kind of a previous management deal before he got with his current team and stuff like that, where they had to buy out of the contract. So
Mm.
boxing, is cutthroat. There's a lot of stuff going on. Have you seen like some of the ugly sides of boxing, more so like from the business and just there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes deals. Pacquiao, he had a management deal that went wrong, stuff like that. Have you been you're young in your career, but have you already kind of been hip to what could go on and things or have friends or anything like that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. I've already, got a glimpse of, how on, on from the front side of it, on face value, things may be a little different than what they seem. You know what I mean? If you take everything for face value, you selling yourself short, and and your potential and stuff that you could do, whether it's earnings, whether it's anything. And you really just gotta really pay attention to the details, and really, more than anything, like, know, have a head about yourself to, to tell whether person, not just as far as what type of person is, but as far as their character and stuff like that. Because I think a lot of people, get that kind of miscued, and then they kind of lose that sense. So yeah, but yeah, I definitely got a glimpse of that.
Definitely. Now, if you could tell the people, what is your fighting style like? If you had to describe your fighting style and also the division you're trying to campaign out of.
Right now I'm campaigning at 130, and I'm a pressure fighter, but I'm really molding into, a boxer puncher. And it's really just coming off of me, coming from the amateurs, really breaking a lot of amateur habits, and in that mold, as a fighter, and really coming into my style as a professional, and just focusing on a lot more than just, being the pressure fighter, being a lot smarter, with my aggression, because I'm very aggressive, and being a lot smarter, and just thinking more when I fight.
What's your top skill as of right now, young man, 25? What would you say is the attribute? It could be physical, it could be non-physical. What's the attribute that kind of sets you apart from other fighters?
I would say my motivation in and outside the ring. It's just, I feel like it's on another level than a lot of fighters. You know what I mean? I just really feel like it's something that clicks in me when it comes to training, when it comes to fighting, that I'm able to switch those gears, and it's a sight. It's a sight to see.
Well, you picked a good team to team up with because I feel like Sean Porter definitely has that perseverance and that dog in him where he like I mean you watched the fight with Errol Spence and stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah.
Have you picked up anything from Sean Porter who also in the same like field, the same career path that you're choosing? Have you picked up any tips or things that you admire about Sean Porter, the fighter?
Oh yeah, 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 definitely. I'm learning. It's kind of crazy. I learn more and more about them, the more what I mean, the more I'm around, the more I watch them, I learn more and more. And that's all I do now. I just sit back and really just soak it all in, and take from it what I can, and and take from it and see what I can add to my own game and make me a better fighter.
Name one of your favorite Sean Porter fights.
um it would have to be the Keith Thurman fight.
Okay. Why you picked that one? That's a good one. That's a good one for sure.
I really, that was one of those fights where, again, he came in the underdog. They expected one thing from it, and it turned into something totally different. But going into the fight, the Porter team knew exactly what they were gonna do, how the fight was gonna go, and as far as like it was a big thing of, everybody really felt that, he would this how the fight was gonna go, whether or not he was gonna get knocked out, or it was gonna go this way and that way. And the fact that they knew coming into the fight that they really wrote the script for the fight, and it went exactly how they wanted it to go. I felt like he won that fight, but
Oh, you had him winning?
but the judges. What you say?
You had him beating Keith Thurman?
Yeah, I had him beating Keith Thurman. And just again, it showed in that fight the grit that he has as a fighter, but also the smarts of it, to where he was able to be extremely aggressive and land these shots and be able to get off and get out and get to the side and being able to working on his strength, playing on his strengths and Keith Thurman's weaknesses.
That's a good one. Definitely a good fight. I think if I'm not mistaken, they even booed when they announced Keith Thurman as a winner because some people
Yeah,
thought that Porter had got that one.
yeah. That was that had to be my definitely my top fight for him. One of my favorites.
Definitely a good one. Now, there is some conversation from Sean Porter I seen on his podcast where he
Mhm.
was saying that he wants to fight Terrence Crawford. He's down for that fight. What type of fight is that? Terrence Crawford versus Sean Porter? Because Crawford's a beast, Sean Porter's a beast.
I really feel like when it comes to, I don't feel anybody wants to fight Sean at 147. They can make whatever reasoning they want behind it, whether it's money, whether it's because he already has losses or whatever. They know that with Sean's fighting ability, he it's literally a 50-50 with anybody he fights. It's never, they can say what they want about, he's gonna get knocked out, he's gonna get schooled and this and that. It's always like, he always makes it, he makes it a fight, but he really knows how to play on his opponent's weaknesses when it comes to fighting. And I feel like that'll be a fight that he would really exploit Terrence's weaknesses, and ultimately I feel like Sean will win it.
Okay. Now, switching gears, you're from Georgia. I know the weather has to be different than Las Vegas. So, have you noticed what differences have you noticed in training back at home versus being in Vegas and training?
For one, I've always been focused as a fighter, whether it was with anything, whether I had something a fight scheduled or not. But I just feel like when I'm training in Vegas, it's more of a fight atmosphere, and it's more of a training atmosphere. When I'm training in Vegas, it just feels, the feel of it is different. And as far as the weather goes, it's a lot colder down here in Georgia. So being able to get out there to that heat and just switching it up entirely, it's better. I like it there.
Definitely. Making weight for you as a fighter, some people have issues. Is it for you? Is it an issue or you at this point in your career you're just blowing through it and doing what you have to do?
Yeah, no, I don't have any issue making weight. It's like preach. I really, again, something that I picked up from getting with the Porters. We don't cut weight. We just change our life. We change our lifestyle, life habits, as far as how we eat and how we moderate how we eat and how we work out, and it just falls in line. I eat what I want when I want. We got, we have a schedule that we work off of, but for the most part, I'm not starving myself to make weight. I'm not, you know, having to night before grind out miles on a treadmill to cut 3-4 pounds. And no, I'm most time I'm on weight days before my match, and I'm just maintaining.
No, that's definitely a good philosophy to have when it comes to, making weight because not everyone could be disciplined, especially when things start coming their way like money and things like that. So that's definitely good to hear. Is there any guilty food pleasures that you have, like stuff you're not supposed to eat that like when your camp is over, you want to go that way and eat this? What is that? What is that food?
Um, it would have to be ice cream. It has to be ice cream. I don't really
I
eat
see.
it. Yeah, yeah, I really don't eat it in camp. But yeah, for some odd reason, I'm always craving some ice cream.
Okay. After camp's done, you might get some couple scoops of ice. What flavor
Yeah,
though?
yeah. Oh,
What flavor?
chocolate.
Oh,
Yeah,
just regular.
chocolate.
Oh, okay. You
Yeah,
keep it basic. Now
yeah.
you got a
I try to keep it basic.
no, that makes sense. You got an upcoming fight on the 20th of this
Mhm.
month, and you're officially in camp for it.
Yeah.
Tell us about that fight. Where is it at, and those types of things.
The fight is gonna be in Miami, Florida, on the 20th, and morning. Yeah, we actually just got finished fighting Saturday in Mexico. So
Hold
we're
on, so
coming out
hold
the
on.
third.
You just fought.
Yeah,
You fought on Saturday, and you fighting again on the 20th.
yeah,
Oh, dang. So you're
yeah.
staying active.
Oh yeah. I think I've had maybe 3 or 4 fights within the last 3 months. Every month we're fighting.
3 or
So
4.
and
Hey,
luckily I've been blessed enough with with my team and us being able to fight as often as we have been or as we are, because with the pandemic going on. And yeah, we're trying to stay as active as possible. I'm young, I'm talented, I'm doing nothing but getting stronger. I'm learning more and more from each match. So we keeping it moving.
oh, that's definitely good. So, what's the motivation behind fighting so frequently? Because that's something in this new age of boxing, not everyone's doing. Like, not
Hmm.
everyone, even like top prospects out of like the Olympics and stuff, they're not necessarily fighting. There's a couple people like Devin Haney's and people that they fought
Yeah.
frequently coming up. So, why is that your motivation in the game plan for you, and what makes that right for you for your journey to fight frequently?
It's partially making up lost time with me being out, because of the problems I had with my on the manager side of things. I was basically sitting for a year and a half, almost 2 years without a fight, and it's partially trying to play catch up, but also with the fact that, like I said, I'm young, I'm a young fighter, I'm getting better and better with each fight, and and it's kind of like learning on the job. So I'm continuing. And plus I love fighting. So with that being, like, it just all plays hand in hand, and it's just something that we came together on as a team, and we decided that this is how we want to go about it, as far as we're trying to fight as often as possible, and keep racking up these W's.
So you were on the shelf for almost 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years?
Yeah.
Wow. How'd you stay focused and disciplined during that time? Like, what was the hardest part about, 2-year layoff, not quote unquote working and stuff? So what's the hardest part about that?
The hardest part is the mind games you kind of play with yourself, and it's just the fact of you're seeing guys from your your class, more so to say, guys that you came up with from you know the JOs with that you were competing against. These guys are going on to win championships and become undefeated prospects, and you look back and now you're in the mirror and it's like, well, dang, like that's where I'm supposed to be. And and being able to continue every morning, wake up and like, okay, let me go take a run, even though I don't have no fight this month, next month, or the month after that. But still being able to get up and run those miles, or get up and do those rounds on a bag with that same intent of, I'm trying to do this to get better, and I'm trying to do this because I want to be world champion, and not letting the fact that you're inactive, the fact that you don't have a fight coming up, not letting that affect your work ethic in the gym, in and out of the gym.
So do you feel you were able to stay sharp during that period? Like, so you were still working, running miles? Were you sparring?
And nah, not a whole lot, not a whole lot, because at the time I was still I was working a full 12-hour shift, and
Oh,
still and so that really limited how much moving around I could do, as far as commuting to Atlanta to get a lot of work, or going in and out of town. Most I could do was maybe get somebody to come in town and get work. But I really felt like it wasn't that I don't feel like I was at my sharpest when it was Atlanta. It was a lot that I was lacking, because of the fact that it was lack of sparring and lack of activity. But I really felt like my mental state really kept me in the bind, as far as kept me on a certain level to where I needed to be. So when I did, finally make the move that I made, and get from under that umbrella that I was up under, and I made that move, I still was able to perform at a high level.
no, respects to that because that's tough when you don't know, when your next date is and stuff like that to stay
Uh-huh.
focused, to stay the course. And I see why you like enjoy fighting frequently too,
Yeah,
because that's a blessing, when you had to sit on the shelf and weren't able to be as
yeah.
active to get back in it. Respects. Now I noticed you got like a large tattoo on your chest.
Uh,
What does that represent? What is it?
I got it a little bit before before that long layoff, and it basically is just represents just basically, it basically represents my fighting. I ain't gonna say fighting moniker, but basically the Lord he builds my hands, and he keeps me solid, grounded, and prepares me for everything that I do in life. Whether it's and not that's just not boxing, but also in life in general.
Now, if I were to listen to your playlist, what you got in the playlist right now? Like to get you through your workouts and stuff, what's Malik Montgomery listening to right now on the playlist?
Um, oh man, I listen to a little bit of everything.
Well, I had to
Probably.
ask you 'cause you from a place like that's a music capital too, so I know there's a lot of
Yeah.
artists and stuff from that way, so let's hear some of the Malik playlist.
I could probably give you about five without just going all off script, but it will
Okay,
probably be Earth Gang, J
okay.
Cole,
Oh, that
Masego,
Cole?
huh?
You said Cole?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
definitely. Uh, Masego, uh, Eminem. That's like a motivation, and God, it's hard. Uh, Dang, that's tough, man. I got a lot. I got a lot on my playlist. Hmm.
One more.
T Grizzly. Yeah, T Grizzly.
Okay,
Yeah.
definitely. So, the 20th, what can we expect? Do you know much about your opponent?
I don't know much at all. I just know, the strategies that we go over with my team as far as what we're working on this fight. It may be something different, totally different from my last fight. And I know we just gonna come out there, work our strengths, and we just gonna go off of that.
And Kenny Porter, as a trainer, he got a lot of experience with the Olympians, and he's seen all the guys you
Yeah.
see at the top right now. He's got a peek at all of them. What have you learned from Kenny Porter, or what gels well with your style and your mindset, and his mindset? Because I feel Kenny doesn't always get the respect as a trainer, because he has the father
Uh-huh.
son tandem. What have you learned from that situation?
I've learned a lot, man. I could write a book on the stuff I've already learned from this man. And but more than like as far as my style and his style of coaching, I feel like it molds in perfect because he's a no nonsense, hard working guy, and he expects a certain level of whether it's fitness, whether it's just character as a person. He has expectations, a certain expectations for you as a person and as a fighter. And I feel like as for me as a person, I hold myself to a certain standard in life and a standard in the ring. And I feel like at times that really melds together with what his vision is and what my vision is. And he doesn't try to alter my style. He just teaches me that I need to adapt and that I need to learn that, it's never one way to do anything. It's 100 different ways to do it. So, we're working on, guess what, learning every last one of those ways.
Okay. Now, there's a lot of talent in or around your weight classes. They're talking about Ryan Garcia versus Manny Pacquiao. Who will win? Who you think that will win that?
Manny Pacquiao. No, Manny Pacquiao. There's no question in my mind unless it's one of those bowing out type things. But yeah, there's no doubt in my mind, Manny Pacquiao. Yeah.
Okay, so because I think that fight, you know, but
Yeah.
Ryan Garcia versus like maybe a Teofimo or a Tank Davis,
Uh-huh.
who's the best out of that crop of fighters?
Out of that group, um, that's kind of tough. But as of right now, I'm gonna have to go with Tio. Just because of the fact, mainly because again, what he's been able to do at that weight class, and I feel like everybody else has been there longer, as far as on that level of fighting. They've been there longer, and what he's been able to accomplish in that short amount of time, uh, I feel like that's what puts him a notch above the rest. But Tank would have to be like a close right there because again, Tank is Tank, so you can never write him out of the picture of it. But yeah, as right now, I would say Tiafimo right now is up there.
Okay. Did you see the Gervonta Davis Leo Santa Cruz fight, and what were your impressions on
Yeah,
that?
yeah, I saw it. I saw it. I felt like Tank he hit Tank with a lot of shots. I feel like he was getting off a lot when he shouldn't have, but I don't think that was really off of how great he was as because again, Leo Santa is a great fighter, but I don't think he was really getting off of how good he was and really off of what Tank wasn't doing. And I feel like at times Tank was looking for one shot, and the shot wasn't there, or he might have touched him with it a couple times, experiment and see what was there. Well, ultimately, what happened was gonna happen. He was gonna knock him out, and the way he set him up for it was beautiful. And because again, Leo was making a lot of mistakes, even with all the offense that he was getting off. It was a lot of mistakes. He wasn't moving his head when he was punching, so he was literally unloading. He would land 6 or 7, but he was giving back, 3 or 4 hard ones because he just wouldn't move his head or he wouldn't step off after he would land the shots, and that ended up being his downfall then because I feel like Tank seen that when I throw these bombs, he's just gonna brace for him. So all I'm gonna do is just throw him in between his guard, throw him under his guard, and eventually seeing what happened. You put him out.
Definitely. So the 20th is going down. I can't wait to see your fight coming up in Miami. What is your last message to the fans, and where can they follow you?
My last message would be just keep a lookout, keep an eye out for me. You're gonna hear more and more about me, and you're gonna see more of me in the near future, especially this year. We got big things that we trying to put in the works. And as far as following me, you can follow me on Facebook at Maliek Montgomery, or follow me on Instagram at Maliek_Mayhem 95.
You spell your first name with an E in it?
Yeah, Maliek.
Okay. Make sure that y'all follow him, Malik Montgomery. Yeah, I'm definitely checking for your journey. I look forward to the next move. I know it's a team decision, but if it was up to you, how many times would you fight this year? 2021, off of the pandemic
What's
year
up
where
to me?
it was rough for everybody.
If it was up to me, I'd be fighting like I'm fighting now every month. If it was up to me. But like you just said, it's a team decision. It's always up to my team, and I believe in my team 100%. So whatever they have in store for me, they know I'm ready, and I'm gonna put forth the work to get it done.
All right. I want to appreciate you for your time. Thank you. Make sure you guys follow him, Malik Montgomery. He's fighting this on the 20th of this month. So make sure you check it. Hopefully I get some footage from it. And we'll keep rocking. I'll probably try to when I'm in Vegas, hopefully if you're in Vegas, link up with y'all. Hold on, it's breaking up a little bit. I don't know if you're in a different area. Yeah, it broke up. It's kind of frozen.